Okay, there we are. Hello. Uh, okay. So, this is gonna be a very short thing, because we weren't actually gonna stream tonight, because we caught a flash fever. But here we are. Because honestly, we need to talk. Um, hold on. We're gonna hop over to. Actually, no, we can be on the stream. Okay, so let's talk about Life is Strange. Um, Specifically, they just announced Life is Strange 5. Life is Strange Reunion. Um, we haven't seen the reveal yet. We'll be watching that together, so you have that to look forward to. But that's not really what we did consider doing like a proper watch along when it was airing, and like putting on our Max cosplay and everything. But like, as we said, fever, we're sick. We're just keeping it mild. So how are you doing, chat? Are you doing all right? Hopefully you're doing better than us. Let's talk about Life is Strange. This screen is bad. What the hell? Why is it like this? Sorry, we haven't used this Life is Strange OBS template since November 2024. Is that when we played Life is Strange Wavelength? Maybe? Probably. Anyway, so we are gonna, let's just get started, shall we? Pause this music. We're gonna go on to our blue sky, because the blue sky has the nice little blue butterfly icon, so that feels fitting. Right, so we're talking about Life is Strange here. Specifically, we have a here it is. We have this thread right here. So back in 2024, we were doing a playthrough of the Life is Strange series on stream. We played Life is Strange Remastered, Before the Storm Remastered, The Adventures of Captain Spirit, Life is Strange 2, Life is Strange True Colors, Life is Strange Wavelength, and then the intent was to play, to read the comics together, and then play double exposure. But that never happened, and there's a reason for that, and the reason is right here. In December of 2024, 20% of the Deck 9 staff was fired. So here are some of the ones that we know got fired. A lot of these people have been with Deck 9 since Before the Storm. Most importantly, in our opinion, is Felice Kwan. Felice Kwan was the she was doing writing on Life is Strange, certainly as Before the Storm. Most famously, then she wrote Farewell, which is the DLC prologue. It is an epilogue to Before the Storm, but it technically takes place before, so it's a prequel. But yeah, you get it. So she wrote Farewell, which is basically like one of the most important Price Field, which is the Max and Chloe ship name, stories in the official canon. And she kind of rose through the ranks at Deck 9 throughout the years. She got more work to do on True Colors. She got a voice acting role in Wavelength, and she was narrative director on Double Exposure. And as you can see here, she says, after the bittersweetness of launching Double Exposure without most of the narrative team, it feels fitting that we are finally united on the other side. Because here's the thing. Life is Strange Double Exposure, the people who wrote and worked on this game's story, they got laid off before Double Exposure came out, and the few that were left got laid off a month later. Now, this isn't unusual in AAA gaming, of course, but this hit us quite deeply because Felice Kwan is also a trans woman. She's a queer. She's a queer woman. She's a trans woman, and she's been rising through the ranks of AAA game development to the narrative director of a big fucking title. Like, Life is Strange is not a small game, you know? And despite being a key figure in all but 2 entries in the series, she just got axed. Oh, we forgot to fix the background on this screen as well. There we go. And that honestly, like, kind of just hit us in a way that we didn't want to do any more Life is Strange streams. Because it just didn't feel worth it. So we ended up pushing off the comic streams, and eventually a full year had passed with those comic streams being sitting as an unlisted planned stream in our YouTube thing. Oh yeah, we should also show this one because yeah, Felice was laid off along with 20% of Deck 9 staff, and it was not the first major layoff, as Felice had alluded to. In fact, Deck 9 went from about 150 developers to about 50 developers over the course of 2024. And that is ridiculous. It is... yeah. It's like what's the point of being excited for video games, supporting video games, and, you know, lifting up video games if the people making them just get shafted and mistreated? That was basically our feeling at the time, which is why we didn't do Life is Strange, the comics, originally when planned. That's why we never got around to playing Double Exposure on stream, and why we never got around to really like doing anything more in that style of game either. Like, we didn't play Tell Me Why, we didn't play Lost Records. Like, those were all games we were excited to stream before this stuff happened, before the last wave of it happened, at least. Like, yeah, it sucks. It's awful. So we wrote this, yeah. Yeah. Felix Kwan was a writer before the storm. Farewell. True colors, wavelengths, double exposure. Narrative director on double exposure. Actors on wavelengths. Being fired was particularly disappointing. Felice was one of the few out trans women in AAA game development, and she was basically turned into a boogeyman by certain fans who didn't like the direction of double exposure because trans women are always singled out and hyper scrutinized if one is seeking to someone to take it blame. And we don't think this is hyperbole, by the way, because if you look at Felice Kwan's mentions when she was fired, the last thing she posted on social media was in December of 2024. She mentioned being fired. She wrote a 9-tweet long farewell message. She retweeted some double exposure fan art and the Lost Records announcement, and then no word. But if you look at the replies to her being fired, it's all people going like, that's what you get for making Chloe break up with Max. And that right there, that is why I wanted to make this short little stream. Because that attitude pisses us off so much. We love Max and Chloe. We find them to be one of the most important romantic couples in video games. Hands down. But here's the thing. Felice Kwan's a real person. Like, real people matter more than fictional ships. Even if Felice was the sole person who decided, let's split up Max and Chloe, which we don't think is the case, but let's pretend she is. Even if she did that, also this video does not loop well, does it? That's unfortunate. Okay. That doesn't matter. It's a fictional ship. But people turn it into basically, my fictional ship matters more than real people. And that really, really, really stuck with us. We're gonna change the background video to one that loops better, hopefully. But that really stuck with us. It's like, wow. No one's interested in actually hearing why double exposure was going a certain way, like where the story was going, why they thought it was a good idea. They just want to blame someone. We're gonna read Felix Kwan's full thread in a little bit, by the way. But yeah, please, yeah. Never mind, she wrote plenty of things those same fans considered key great moments and stories. Even if you put aside that she did not deserve the treatment she got, was ultimately a my ship broke up plot point that she probably wasn't the sole source of in the first place. We'll get into this in a little bit right here. Do we not have a visible cursor on? What the hell? No, we do. Why is it not? What? There it is. Okay, we'll get into this in a little bit. Yeah, so like here, right here, like Felice was always like very proud of like pushing the queer couples in this series. Like, she wrote these scenes, she wrote these characters, and she gets fired. So let's talk about Life is Strange Aperture, because this is something that does not get mentioned at all by the Life is Strange fanbase, and it is strange. Life is Strange Aperture is the original game that we didn't get a few years ago. Basically, in 2021, there was a leak for Life is Strange Aperture. It's about Max being at a college 10 years after Life is Strange 1. They're calling it Life is Strange 3 here. That's because True Colors had not been announced yet. But yeah, Max is at a college. She has not been using her powers. It says here it follows the timeline where Chloe dies. We'll get back to that. During a walk through the park late at night, blah, 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 a dead student. And yeah, side quest involving a cat, talk about an expansion, alternate outfits, furnishing, blah 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 blah. Seems very promising. Yeah. So this is clearly an early version of Double Exposure and Reunion. We don't think we have the image from the actual full thing here, so we'll summarize it. But basically, it talks about the timeline skipping of Double Exposure, where Max goes in and out of two different timelines. And it mentions that the intent at the time was that Chloe would be dead in one timeline, alive in the other. That's how they would preserve the two different endings of Life is Strange 1, right? And Chloe would be there. She wouldn't be a main character, but she would be there. Yeah. This didn't happen. Because instead, this concept, which, as we said, was in development in 2021, got split into two projects. We got Double Exposure, in which Chloe does not appear, and they started working on Reunion, where you play as Max and Chloe at the same time. They got changed to whether or not Chloe is dead or alive comes down in the timeline you start in is player's choice, and Max and Chloe broke up instead. All of that now in hindsight is clearly for the sake of the reunion, by the way, but who cares about storytelling? But yeah, basically, this is the concept. Life is Strange Aperture is the concept that became Double Exposure and Reunion. It's also very possible, actually, that the expansion is what became Reunion, to be exact, because Reunion is actually cheaper than Double Exposure. We'll look at that later. But yeah, basically, this is very interesting, we think. Because this shows that this was planned for a very long time, and they were working on it as early as 2021, which means the reunion, the seeds for reunion at least, were placed 5 years ago. And this is important because so many people are now calling this a quick cash grab, cashing in on the outrage towards Double Exposure, splitting up Max and Chloe. It's not, and we'll get more into that in a bit, but yeah. Yeah, so we don't know exactly why things changed, but things changed. Yeah, Phase 1 refers to now working on the next project. So like, Reunion was already a thing before Double Exposure came out. Yeah, we did consider that perhaps it was a decision made after release, but it doesn't add up with the leaked release of Life is Strange 5 being set for this year. It's coming out in March, by the way. Which would mean that this would mean that the game that we're about to get would have been made in 1 year and 3 months if it was made after Felice was fired. No. But yeah, Felice Kwan and the rest 20% on Deck 9 got fired and axed over basically nothing, fans were like trans woman, blah blah blah. And the reason we wrote this thread is basically this. We're not saying don't be excited for this game, don't play it, whatever. We're saying do better, stop creating hate campaigns, stop treating fiction as more important than real people. And then, of course, came the announcement. Technically, it leaked an hour early. Apparently, it leaked to like an Xbox blog. An Xbox blog and Gematsu. Gematsu put up the entire like synopsis early. But only if you went to like the profiles they have for games that no one uses. Yeah, one of the justifications people had for people losing their jobs was that they clearly hated the original game and Chloe and just wanted to get rid of her. In fact, it was actually a big rumor at the time, claiming that someone on Reddit claiming to be like an insider from like Deck 9, saying that, oh, Deck 9 hates Chloe and they never want to work with Ashley Birch again. That's why they made sure to break them up so that there could be no excuse to have Chloe in the game. which makes no sense. Deck 9 got started making the Chloe game. But yeah, people bought it regardless. That spread like wildfire. Um, Life is Strange fans don't deserve this game after how they acted about real life people working on the series in 2024. We stand by that. Square Enix don't deserve the sales after they fired 20% of Deck 9 staff in December 2024, including the writers who have been there since BTS. We stand by that, although we should have actually put a higher figure considering we didn't take into account the people that got fired before the December layoffs, but we don't have an exact number on that, so let's be clear, personally we were against them ever bringing back old protagonists. That's something we've been saying since the start. If you watch our, what would it have been? When was Double Exposure announced? It was like at some showcase in spring of 2024, right? So like it was probably like one of the Let's Watch showcases. We probably talked about there how like we didn't want Max to come back because we think one of the things that made Life is Strange so good is the fact that it had new protagonists with every new story. But you know, if they felt they had a good reason to bring back Max and Chloe in this case, then like they should do so. They're the storytellers. But yeah, it was fucking obvious they were building towards something with double exposure. People refused to see it because they wanted to attack people. And we bring this up because we called this out in June of 2024. We got so tired of people shitting on Deck 9 for LiS and all the people over rumors about what double exposure would be, that we just shared the Aperture leaks. Talked about how yeah, both endings are gonna remain canon, and like they're clearly respecting canon. They're clearly like respecting what the story has done. They're clearly building towards something. Like we were calling this out early. Yeah. I think the game is likely going to be great, but the sections remain horrible and the fan base sucks. We think that. We very much think that because we think the people at Deck 9 are great developers. Even the ones that were laid off, even the ones that remain after the layoff are like still great developers, and the ones that were laid off still worked on this. So like, yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's go see what Felice Kwan wrote. For that we have to go to Twitter, which apparently we can't do without going out of full screen mode. Oh, okay, hold on. Sign in. Really? We're not logged in? That's strange. Alright, Felice Kwan. Okay. So here's Felice Kwan's Twitter. See, the last thing that she shared was Don't Nod's Tape 1 release of Lost Records, and she tweeted some double exposure fan art. Get more stuff, and here's the actual tweets. So let's read this thread because this thread is important. Yesterday, I and the remainder of my writers were among the many layoffs at Deck 9 Games. After the bittersweetness of launching Life is Strange Double Exposure without most of the narrative team, it feels fitting that we are finally united on the other side. I adore Life is Strange Double Exposure and the opportunity it gave us to tell stories we hadn't seen before. For me, Double Exposure is encapsulated by one moment in particular that came from no other source but us. Spoilers for Double Exposure. At the beginning of Chapter 5, when Max realizes she's being put through the same fate again, being asked once again to either take the life of a marginalized woman or feel guilty for letting her live, and she says no. Double Exposure is about marginalized creatives fighting to keep their jobs within an institution that cares more about covering up scandal and finding scapegoats. If you take one message from our game, let it be that you may need supernatural powers to change the status quo. In Double Exposure, we gave a queer woman the ability to refuse an untenable situation and shape it into a better one. May Max be an inspiration to all of us. we're gonna pause here because we want to talk about this right here. So people often refer to the original Life is Strange, the game right here. Actually, we have our original copy here. Yay! Well, our second copy, because this was not available when the game came out. The game released episodically, and then afterwards you could buy this. But yeah, still. When this game came out, when the final episode came out, it was accused of being a bury or gaze storyline because of the final choice of Arcadia Bay or Saving Chloe. Now, we've done a video, or rather, we've clipped the part of our stream where we talk about the Bay versus Bay rant, and why it's not a trolley problem, how people misrepresent it, etc., etc. But it is true, no matter what you might think of how they handle it, it is true that what it was a very, very unfair choice being put on Max, and that was something that was criticized heavily when this game came out in 2015. Them wanting to actually, like, interact with that and, like, give Max the opportunity to not make that kind of choice, that fucking sold us on Double Exposure. Now, obviously, it's a spoiler, but, like, yeah, no, that's great. That is, like, evolving the story. That is showing growth. That is tackling themes that the game has already dealt with in a new way, and also doing so while acknowledging the criticisms of the early stories. That is great. That's, like, it's awesome, honestly. So it's a shame that people didn't want to see that, but yeah. When I look back at the moments in the Life is Strange franchise I've been most proud to write, I noticed that they're all about the meaning two people can bring to each other's lives. I'm so grateful for the people who have been with me on this journey that I still have today. And this includes Spirit Take My Hand, yeah, the Tempest thing, the kiss scene with Chloe and Rachel, the LARP in True Colors, and and marrying Steph, and of course Farewell. And what? Hey, look right here. Fucking crazy you post Max and Chloe after you butchered their relationship in DE, but okay. Again, this tweet has more likes than the writer's response. The writer who wrote this. That is... This is why we say Life is Strange fans don't deserve the games. And if it wasn't enough for you to get the girls to break up, you turned the knife every time after that. Why did you make Chloe blame Max for Joyce's death? You retcon things. Chloe knew from the beginning that Joyce was going to die. That's why she mentioned her in her speech. Yeah. You never even worked on. Yeah, I remember your interview. So did the fans. By sales and reviews say something important, meaningful about your game. Yeah. It's all just fucking attacking Felice, who wrote the stuff that made them fall in love with the games, by the way. The most brilliant and principled narrative leads in the world, Deandra Warwick, Mallory Littleton, and Aisha Yufara, my incredible writers and narrative designers, Andy Awson, Elizabeth Ballou, Giselle Francis, Sephora Smith, and James F. Wright. Philip Lawrence and Asa Jagan, who fought for us on the other side of the world, and the folks still at D9 giving their all to the next project. That would be Reunion. Most especially Jonathan Stoddard, who undoubtedly ascend to a higher plane for all the hits he's taken for others. Thank you, Life is Strange fans, for all of your love, support, and passion this last 8 years. I believe games can change lives, and I know you do too. 72 days until Play Lost Records. So, like, what do you do with that? People don't treat the people making these games as human. But they treat the fictional characters as more than human. And that is unfortunate, we think. So let's do this. Let's watch the reveal.
The following live stream contains story spoilers for Life is Strange Double Exposure, and will contain gameplay and story teasers for the next Life is Strange game. If you want to be totally unspoiled, you might want to be careful about this video, because we're going to be showing you a lot of stuff. With that being said, we hope you enjoy.
Normally that would mean that we wouldn't watch this, but we feel we have to.
I thought the storm would be the worst thing to hit Caledon. But now, I only have 3 days to save everyone. Help! Moses! All that destruction, and there was nothing I could do.
You bought us time. Time that we'll make the most of.
With so many lives at stake, I need all the help I can get. Sophie?
This art style has grown on us, by the way. We weren't super fond of it when they first showed it, but yeah.
Supposed to happen. Who are you to stop it?
I know there are consequences to using your powers, but maybe this time is different?
Right when everything is falling into chaos. She walks in, like she heard her cue. Chloe, how are you here?
Lots to discuss. Right now, I think we should run.
Chloe.
Let's go, Max! I have memories of things that can't possibly be true. Max, did you do this?
Your visions, the fire, we'll figure it all out.
Whatever comes next, it will happen to us.
This isn't fair! You can't have come back to me just to end up here.
Okay. Okay. We'll get into our thoughts on this later, but yeah, good trailer. Good trailer. Looks really cool. It focuses on consequence, and it's clearly it's putting back. It's gonna be another case of like the game is most likely in some way gonna have you like see if you actually like stand by your choice at the end of the first game, which is gonna be interesting. We think this is basically them taking the aperture concept and doing it more in a more interesting way, because focusing on like the actual active timeline shifting going on, what's true and what isn't, what happened, that's interesting. If you read the synopsis, they also explicitly state that the player will have the power to like power might be the wrong word. The player will be able to specify that yeah, Max and Chloe like were lovers in the Chloe Lives timeline, which is also good. We think it looks great. We think it looks like a really good game. It's just a shame that the people who made it, most of them no longer work at the studio, and therefore will not get, you know, they're not gonna move up in the ranks if this game does well, and if it does poorly, it's just gonna really lead to even more layoffs. So, yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the release of the game. Hello, Miss Son. You're a bit late, but that's okay. Let's talk about the release of the game, because free classic outfit pack when you pre-order any edition. Fuck off, Square Enix. They're not gonna show the double. Okay, they didn't show the They didn't show the Also, what the fuck was that chat window? Oh god, is this from back when we used Streamlabs for our chat box? Okay, we're just gonna deactivate that invisible chat box. Sorry, we haven't used this layout in so long, we don't remember how it looks. This game is gonna be cheaper than Double Exposure. It's 40 euros, 50 euros for the deluxe edition. And we mentioned this because Double Exposure launched with a fucking 90 euro Ultimate Edition. And we're gonna be perfectly honest, we think if the game had launched with just everything in one edition at a reasonable price, maybe the backlash maybe the backlash towards the game would have been like even out by the fact that people could afford it. Because the reason we didn't buy it at launch was because we couldn't fucking afford the game. Like, even now, Double Exposure costs more than Reunion. Life is Strange 4 costs more than Life is Strange 5. That's absurd. That is absurd. You missed us ranting about why the Life is Strange fandom doesn't deserve anything. We highly encourage rewatching that later. And you missed us watching the announcement trailer. But you know what? Fuck it. Let's watch it. Let's watch the announcement trailer again. Can watch it with subtitles this time. We don't mind rewatching it. It doesn't have English subtitles. Okay, never mind. We're not watching it with subtitles apparently.
The following live stream contains story spoilers for Life is Strange.
It's a good trailer.
Life is Strange Double Exposure, and will contain gameplay and story teasers for the next Life is Strange game. If you want to be totally unspoiled, you might want to be careful about this video, because we're going to be showing you a lot of stuff. With that being said, we hope you enjoy.
the storm would be the worst thing to hit Caledon. But now, I only have 3 days to save everyone. Help! Moses! All that destruction, and there was nothing I could do.
You bought us time. Time that we'll make the most of.
With so many lives at stake, I need all the help I can get. Sophie?
In the flesh. If you saw this campus burn down, then it means it was supposed to happen. Who are you to stop it?
I know there are consequences to using your powers, but maybe this time is different?
Right when everything is falling into chaos. She walks in, like she heard her cue. Chloe, how are you here?
Lots to discuss. Right now, I think we should run.
Chloe.
Let's go, Max! I have memories of things that can't possibly be true. Max, did you do this?
Your visions, the fire, we'll figure it all out.
Whatever comes next, it will happen to us.
This isn't fair! You can't have come back to me just to end up here.
That's the trailer. I think it looks really good. And this is the remaster collection trailer.
The saga of Max and Chloe began. Childhood best friends reunited.
Okay, sorry trailer, you cannot convince us the remaster collection is good. It looks bad. Just put out the original games instead.
Reunion will bring this iconic duo back together again. As a devastating fire threatens Caledon University, Max and Chloe must face danger, make life or death choices, and unravel the disturbing truth behind Chloe's return.
Not again. It keeps getting worse.
As the story unfolds, you'll play some scenes as Max and some as Chloe, using Max's resurgent power of rewind and Chloe's witty backtalk ability to investigate, save lives,
Get us out of here!
and fight for their future together.
We'll figure it all out. I'm just so glad you're here.
In today's stream, we'll answer all your burning questions. We'll explore the exciting return of Max's
Little-
iconic power of rewind, glimpse into the fiery.
It's a little like
on your choices could claim the
disrespectful
lives of Max's students.
to say burning questions as you watch a place burn down.
In this thrilling finale. But first, let's introduce two very special guests.
Gee, wonder who these are.
I'm Hannah Tell, and I play Max Caulfield, the girl who can rewind time. I'm so excited to finally talk about what's next for Life is Strange. But of course, I couldn't do it without my partner in time.
Ashley Birch.
I'm Rihanna DeVries.
No, it's Rihanna. Oh, okay.
Life is Strange reunion. I'm seriously so stoked to be back. It feels amazing to finally share this with all of you. I first played Chloe in Before the Storm when she was just 16 years old. Getting to return to her now, older and more kick-ass, has been a dream as an actor.
And that's such
Genuinely thought it was Ashley from the trailer.
showing how Max and Chloe have grown and matured, but kept that spark that makes them, them. After Life is Strange 1, there's been a solo adventure for each of our characters.
In Before the Storm, Chloe was dealing with so much. Losing her dad, meeting Rachel, and feeling totally abandoned by Max. That time in her life was rough.
I feel like I've grown up with Max too. In double exposure, she was haunted by Chloe's absence even while she was trying to move forward. I mean, how do you move on from losing someone who's basically your soulmate? Chloe was always in the back of Max's mind. Even when Max was running around trying to solve a supernatural murder across 2 timelines. But now, finally, time and fate have brought Max and Chloe back together.
Max, you're kind of staring a lot.
Sorry, I think I might be in shock.
Sure. Blast from the past and all.
In Life is Strange Reunion, Chloe has come to Max because she's suffering from these intense visions and impossible memories. And somehow she's also seeing Safi in her visions. Max's, let's say, complicated friend from double exposure.
Oh, wait, hold up, Hannah. Because I know, like, half the people watching this right now are probably thinking, wait, what the hell? My Chloe's dead. But this game isn't just for people who sacrificed Arcadia Bay to save Chloe.
No, not at all. Actually, the best way to explain how Chloe is back for both sets of players is to just show you. This first clip is from the timeline where Max made the heartbreaking choice to sacrifice Chloe to save Arcadia Bay.
What else do you see in your visions besides her?
Me? Dying on the Blackwell bathroom floor. I know it's not real, but it feels so...
They're not gonna have Bay with an E in the upper left corner. Oh, you can't even see the upper left corner.
When the storm came, you asked me to go back and undo it.
It says Bay.
You saved Arcadia Bay. When you died,
There's no way they're gonna have Bay with an E, right?
Reality isn't supposed to work like this.
you're alive. I don't care how or why. This is beyond anything I ever dreamed of.
But what the hell happened? How am I here right now?
Let's back up. When did the visions start? Was it just before Christmas?
How did you know that?
Because last December, my friend Safi lost control of her powers. For a while, there were 2 separate realities. One where Safi was alive, one where she was dead. I managed to merge them back together.
Yeah, this is what we figured. It's the aperture
More than that?
remnant.
So, when Max merged 2 timelines to save Safi's life, she also, without realizing it, merged the alternate realities where Chloe either lived or died.
Yeah.
Chloe may have the memories of both endings, but your Max still reflects the choice you made at the end of Life is Strange 1. To show you what we mean, let's see how that same scene you just watched plays out differently in the timeline where Max sacrificed Arcadia Bay to save Chloe.
Right choice.
What else do you see in your visions besides
Oh, they actually did, but they actually called it Bay with an E. God damn it.
Flying Arcadia Bay. And my mom's grave. I know the town is fine and my mom's alive, but it feels so...
What do you mean? I don't know what's happening, but there definitely was a storm. And I'm so sorry, but your mom didn't make it.
Okay, it's pretty messed up for you to make me prove something like this, but voila. A selfie from my mom's gram. Stardate, 1 month ago.
Joyce is alive? In the town?
It's right where we left it.
Oh, shit. How do we have 2 separate realities? And how is Arcadia Bay back?
Okay, that is interesting. Okay, we gotta pause here. That is really not what we thought they were gonna do. We didn't think they were going to do that. The rest of it is actually what we figured. We didn't think they would actually like go so far as to have. I guess that makes sense though. I guess it makes sense if they're doing the whole thing 2 timelines merged. Then that would happen. Yeah, we like that. We like that.
Choice from the end of Life is Strange 1. you'll get different branching dialogue throughout Life is Strange Reunion.
And these merged timelines mean Chloe's seriously messed up. She has nightmares of surviving the storm in Arcadia Bay, but she also has traumatic memories of bleeding out on the Blackwell bathroom floor.
And Max is still carrying all the weight from making her devastating choice. And that kind of guilt doesn't just disappear, especially when the person you lost suddenly walks back into your life.
But this is a second chance for Max and Chloe to reconnect and rebuild their relationship as partners in time or something more.
What I love is that you get to guide Max and Chloe's relationship as they find their way back to each other. Whether they reconnect as best friends or romantic partners, that's totally up to you.
I think I would have gone insane a long time ago without you as my confidant.
I gotta say though, Max and Chloe trying to figure out their relationship while literally everything is on fire? Terrible timing. All they want to do is work out what Chloe's return means for them and for reality. But of course, nothing's ever simple.
Nope. And who's going to believe them?
Emergency! Someone is trying to burn down the campus. No, I don't know who. No, I have no proof. No, I'm not a crazy lady.
These two have got to try and stop it on their own.
And the stakes are huge. Max's friends and students can die in the fire. Seeing them in danger is why Max used her last resort, jumping back 3 days through a Polaroid photo.
Oh God, I did it. I jumped into a photo again. I'm sure this won't have terrible, far-reaching consequences for the school or the people I love.
In Life is Strange Reunion, Max can rewind from the very start.
Which is super useful. At the touch of a button, she can use rewind to investigate, uncover secrets.
Or just hit undo when you're like, wait, no, I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah, we've all been there. I wish I had rewind in real life. Let's take a proper look at it in action.
If you are an OG Life is Strange 1 player, then you'll know all about Max's rewind. And in Life is Strange Reunion, she has control over this time-bending power once again. Here's the lowdown on everything you can do when you have an undo button in the palm of your hand.
Yoink.
Welcome back.
Rewind grants Max the power of knowing what the future will hold. Very handy. Although, she always has to live through the present first.
Okay, time to search around and look for any clues.
Problem here.
The door's locked. Locked? Oh crap, someone else must be here.
It's stuck. Someone must have locked it when they ran through before.
We'll give them the all clear. Come on, it's about to start.
What's about to start?
Charges set. Detonation commencing.
What the fuck? They're demolishing the house now? I'll disable the charges. Are you fucking nuts? There's no time, we have to run.
Detonation in 10, 9,
Just stay back.
8, 7.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What do I do?
8, 7, 6.
Okay, it's like, we don't really need this play-by-play, because, like, obviously, like, we know how this works. This is Life is Strange 1.
What the fuck? What do I do?
But, yeah. Not entirely sold on the UI, I'm gonna be honest. But,
Holy shit! We need to get out of here before someone finds us.
If Max is in particular danger, her rewind kicks in as an automatic reflex if she would otherwise be caught, hurt, maimed, or killed, giving you few precious
just like
moments
Life is Strange
to
1,
rethink your
yeah.
choices before you try again.
Hey, someone is here!
Max's rewind is more responsive than ever, with the ability to freely rewind at any point, or to skip directly to your most recent action or choice, with those key actions still marked by the dots on the rewind spiral in the upper left of the screen. Oh, it's good to see you again, rewind spiral. Although the world rewinds around Max, you can take anything Max picks up back with you, solving puzzles from the past with tools from the future. Sounds like an advert, that.
You just love watching me break things for science.
I know I won't remember it, but I still love watching it.
And as Max doesn't move in space when she reverses time, you can use Rewind to gain crucial extra seconds and cover any distance in the blink of an eye.
Max, why'd you leave the X? What happened?
Fire happened.
Whoa. And I was just gonna let it spark. Thank you, teleporting Max.
But while Rewind is incredibly powerful, it still has its limits. And without taking the risky step of jumping back in time through a photograph, Max can only rewind a few minutes at a time, meaning that she can't undo something that happened before she arrived, and that every second still counts.
I acted on instinct. I hope it was the right choice.
With Chloe and Rewind back in Max's life, she's finally got everything she needs to take on a whole new mission.
Well, you watched our playthrough of True Colors, right?
She does have a supernatural level of self-confidence when it comes to getting answers. That's right. Backtalk is back, baby.
I love how Chloe's power is basically just her being unapologetically Chloe.
Absolutely. And we've got John Zimmerman back at the helm leading the writing. He wrote Chloe in Before the Storm, so it really felt like coming home.
Yeah, he's like the only person left after they fired everyone else.
Planetarium, you say? If I make it to Monday, I know what my plans are.
Hey, didn't I kick your ass out? You're going on the banned list. Are you a student?
No.
Good. Then I'm banning you from campus, too. Name?
Shit. Better think fast.
Thing is, I'm actually a prospective graduate student. I'm here to visit campus.
What program?
I'm doing astrology and whatnot.
Uh-huh. And where are you matriculating from?
At key moments, Chloe can use backtalk to humorously infiltrate the campus, wrestle key information from people, and delve deeper into the mystery.
Or in true Chloe fashion, just throw some shade.
Yeah. And all outcomes in backtalk are entertaining. But remember, they will have an impact on how people treat Chloe. And that can have ramifications for the investigation.
Speaking of the investigation, Max and Chloe are teaming up again. But this time, they'll need to figure out why the fire started, to trace who's behind it. Max thinks it could be arson.
Someone set this fire on purpose.
But was it a vendetta against the school? A burst of anger from Lakeport locals? Or did someone start the blaze to cover up something far darker?
To bring the truth to light, Max and Chloe will need to chase down every lead they can.
Violent protests, resentful staff, a secret society? There are many threats and theories vying for your attention, while the clock counts down to disaster.
With so many lives at stake, Max and Chloe will be forced to make difficult decisions. Everyone at Caledon is at risk. Who can be saved? With Rewind and Backtalk at your fingertips, that will be down to you.
Where did all this come from?
And that's about it for today's reveal show. We seriously cannot.
Are they gonna show the additions or something? Yeah, okay,
Thank
they
you
are.
so much for watching. See you soon.
Yeah, game looks good. I mean, it has the problem of being very member berries. Like, oh hey, look, now you get to use the Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm abilities, and Max and Chloe are back, and they're doing the same things again. And...
A whole lot of hearts.
But like,
As
We
the
think
story unfolds, you'll play some scenes as Max with Rewind and others as Chloe with Backtalk, both investigating this mystery of who will start the fire at Caledon and why.
Maybe we still stopped the... Max? I don't think we stopped anything.
You can pre-order Life is Strange.
Okay, here we go. We think, like, as long as it stays true to whatever Deck 9 we're working on 2 years ago, we're fine with it being a little, like, nostalgia heavy. But of course, and we'll get back into it in a bit, we need to, like, still keep in mind what the cost for this was. Anyway, let's see.
And in the meantime, keep an eye on the Life is Strange channels for all the...
Oh, do they not show the editions?
Let us know what you want to
No,
see
they do.
next by dropping a comment below.
Who fucking knows what will happen next? But it will happen to us, okay? Because I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. So here. Here's the editions. The twin pack is not live yet, by the way. Because we were literally looking to like see what that was gonna cost. Maybe it's live now, but when we were checking, it was not live. But it's 40 euros for standard edition, 50 euros for deluxe edition.
lifeisstrange.com and your digital store for more info.
Okay, and they don't show what's in. Okay, then let's go to lifeisstrange.com then. Okay. Learn more. Pre-order. Okay. This didn't actually tell us anything, did it? We just want to know what's okay here. So you get digital media sound, behind the scenes documentary. Okay, that's actually something you will want. Okay, so it seems they haven't locked any actual content to the digital deluxe. That's good, considering what Double Exposure did. And honestly, what Before the Storm did, and True Colors did. So that's good. It's actually only bonus stuff. I wonder what the comic is. Are they gonna show? Let's see if we look closer. No. What? What's the collector's edition? Okay. Do they really not have like a proper, just like chart for the versions? That is odd. Okay, here we go. Yes, both endings are acknowledged. The entire game is about two timelines like being forcibly merged at the end of the last game, and like the paradoxes that cause and what they're gonna do to deal with it. Okay, let's see. We want to know what the comic is. Oh yeah, the collector's edition is really pretty, by the way. It's can we see what it looks like? Okay, yeah, here it is. There we go. The collector's edition comes with this nice box of Max and Chloe in a boat. Poster for the band that Chloe's a manager of, some Polaroids. Like actual, we really appreciate this. This is actual bonus stuff. It's not digital content, you know, like it's not we carved this out of the game to sell it back to you. It's actual bonus stuff, the kind of stuff they should put in a collector's edition. Genuinely surprised at that. Glad to see it. Still not sure what the fucking what the comic is. The digital deluxe edition comic that comes with the game is not mentioned anywhere. That's kind of strange. Maybe if we go up a bit? No, there's nothing here. Should we consult Steam, maybe? Let's see if it's on Steam. Life is Strange Reunion. Deluxe Edition. It does not say what... No, wait, no, maybe it does. No, it just says digital comic. It doesn't say what the digital comic is. Like, is it a new comic, or is it one of the old comics? Because that does kind of matter. Also, what's the twin pack cost? We're actually very interested in the twin... Okay, here it is. Okay. Okay. Okay, well that's awesome. Hold on. Alright, so... So, the twin pack is 60 euros. That is really good. If you don't know, we talked about this earlier in the stream. We complained about Double Exposure's pricing. Because right now, when we started the stream, Double Exposure cost more than Reunion, despite being 2 years old. But now you can actually get both games for the price of Double Exposure. So yeah, this right here, this right here, that right there is what you should get if you're interested in playing these games and you want best value for what you're paying. That's a really good price. Yeah, can't. Yeah, do you get double exposure immediately? I mean, we assume that you would, right? Yeah, because it's a separate purchase. Yeah, see, it's lower than 20. Normally, this game is much more. Like if we go to Life is Strange Double Exposure, it's 49 euros standard, and Ultimate Edition is still 80 euros, which is ridiculous. This right here, we genuinely think that this right here is what caused the game to actually flop in sales more so than any controversies about the story. This right here is why it's so expensive. They decided to put a cat behind a paywall. This is what led to layoffs. Well, I mean, it's more complicated than that, but you get it. Where's our... Do we not have our blue sky up anymore? Yes, not. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to the thread. Okay, yeah, so to go back to what we were talking about at the start of the stream, Felice Kwan, trans woman who was the narrative director on Double Exposure, and she was also a writer on Before the Storm, wrote a lot of the key, like, sapphic scenes in that. She wrote Farewell, the Max and Chloe epilogue DLC for Before the Storm. She wrote much of True Colors. She played the ex-girlfriend of Steph in Wavelength. And she was not the director on Double Exposure. She got fired alongside the remainder of the writing team at Deck 9 back in December 2024. Basically, Double Exposures, the people who wrote Double Exposure mostly got laid off before that game came out. And most of the rest got laid off immediately afterwards. And these are the same people who at the time were writing Reunion. and that is so gross. 20% of Deck 9 was laid off in December 2014. 2024. And that was only the last of that year's layoffs. The exact numbers we don't have, but they've gone from an average 150 employee studio to an average 50 employee studio, which would be a 66% downside. Seemingly due to Double Exposure having controversial fan takes and not selling that well, which we blame on ridiculously expensive editions and people treating fiction more important than real people. We went through all of this earlier in the stream. We're not gonna read through it all again, but we do think all of this is very important as context for Life is Strange moving forward. We're not saying don't buy the game. We're not saying buy the game. We're not saying don't enjoy the game. We're not saying don't enjoy the game. We're just saying please remember the context in which these games are made in and the real life people behind them. Because Felice Kwan is the only trans woman that we knew of in AAA lead roles. Lead development roles, we should say. There are some actresses, thankfully. She was the only one. She got laid off in December. As far as we know, she hasn't been rehired anywhere. She hasn't said anything anywhere. And she wrote most of the sapphic stuff in the series. And she got tossed aside because people considered their feelings about Max and Chloe more important than the stories the person that wrote those characters wanted to tell. We do want to make a few predictions towards Reunion. They talk about this being a definitive ending for Max and Chloe's story. Assuming that they're still building off of what Felice and her team built. We're gonna go back into this post right here where Felice talks about the intent behind Double Exposure, where specifically this last part here, about how Max says no to doing the same thing again, and how it's about marginalized creatives fighting to keep their jobs with an institution that cares more about covering up scandal and finding scapegoats. If you take one message, blah 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 blah, Quill will be able to refuse an untenable situation and shape it into a better one. To us, that says the ending of Reunion is most likely gonna be one ending. It's not gonna be another choice ending. And I mean, there's probably just gonna be details, obviously, based on the choices you make, because that's just how the game works. But like, it's not gonna be a clear ending A, ending B scenario. But rather, it's gonna be one set ending, and it's gonna be a very happy ending, probably. We're guessing they're probably gonna burn the last of Max's Polaroids, considering the theme is fire. But yeah, for those who walked in late, yes, they've confirmed that both endings of Life is Strange 1 remain canon. Spoiler for Double Exposure, at the end of that game, two timelines merge, and because of that, now both endings coexist and are causing paradoxes that don't work out. So Chloe has become a walking anomaly in time, and that is part of core of this plot going on here, dealing with that. All of this falling in with Double Exposure also being a direct critique of, or a response to the critique of Life is Strange 1's ending being a unfair thing to put in the game. Yeah, no, we think it looks good, and as upset as we are about the firings, and as upset as we are towards the Life is Strange fan base who made Felice and other people working on the series' lives just hell for no reason, we showed some of the things they said to Felice when she was being fired earlier, if you want to go back and look at it, and it's vile. despite that, we feel like the love for these characters and these stories come through in what Deck 9 makes. They are one of the few more overtly queer studios in AAA gaming. They're like one of the only studios that never take off their pride colors from their social medias. They're always on, not just during Pride Month, they're always on. They talk openly about, like, yeah, don't worry, you'll be able to have a relationship between Max and Chloe in this game. That's a focus of the game in the reveal of the game. Like, they care. They clearly care. So we'll be playing it. Fleece Quan's firing was what made us stop streaming Life is Strange back in December. But we'll be picking it back up probably on Sunday. It depends on how our fever turns out, because we have a fever. That's why we're doing this short stream instead, which has turned out to be more than an hour long. But yeah, so Life is Strange comic stream on Sunday. That's reading the original 6 volumes of the Life is Strange comic, following the ending where you pick Chloe and not Arcadia Bay. Once we're done with that, it's gonna be time for double exposure. And we should be done in time for Life is Strange Reunion in March 26th. Is when Life is Strange Reunion is coming out. Please look forward to that. At some point we're also gonna read the comics that follow up on True Colors, which are more newer, but we're probably gonna put that after Reunion, because we're gonna try and get Max and Chloe's story summed up first. If we somehow end up having too much free time, maybe we'll replay Life is Strange 1 and Before the Storm in their non-remastered versions, because god damn, those remasters are bad. Yeah. That's gonna be it. Thank you so much for watching. This was a rant. This was a very negative stream for the most part, but overall we're positive about the fact that a game like Life is Strange can exist, because holy shit, do y'all realize just how ridiculous it is that Life is Strange exists 11 years later, with all of the backtracking all major studios have done on queer stuff, and yet somehow Life is Strange gets queerer. And that's why, even though we don't want Square Enix to get money, considering they Deck 9 like fired so many people, we're gonna vote with our wallet and support Life is Strange Reunion, because we need games like this. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna go to bed, and we want to give a very special thank you to our wonderful supporters: Aractopunk, Bean, Garden, Harahase, Used, Little Fade Leaf, Emerald Bloom, Moto Kachoma, Rum Ray, Rain, The Coyote, Saga Music, Shadow Winchester, and Eurocha. If you would like to support us, we have Patreon, Ko-fi, and PayPal. Links are on screen and in the description. Any amount you give gets your name and credits here for at least a month, and it's very much appreciated, because it's our only income, and we are also now studying, so that makes it even more tricky. Love you all. Take care, and goodbye.